What's up, guys? Daniel at DLifeHC, and today we're going to talk about the recent news about xCloud not coming over to iOS. This news comes as a huge disappointment to many iOS owners hoping to experience the Gears of War series, the Halo series, the Fable series, and so much more of the newer AAA and indie game releases that Game Pass and Microsoft has to offer on their iPhones and iPads. With all that said, we weren't planning to release a video on this, but it was too good to pass up. So stick around to find out why we think the service has reached an impasse with Apple and how we believe it could be fixed. This kind of thing is all too familiar with Apple. Not too long ago, it reached the same type of issue when Valve had to wait for a year to release its Steam Link app on the App Store. It finally reached an agreement with Apple, and they were able to release the app with the promise that Valve would have to strip the app of all its games, and Apple would only allow people to play the games that they already owned on their accounts. This seems like a crazy agreement, but if Apple's not getting a piece of the pie for each game, it's not going to let the app onto their App Store. Now, let's get to the Game Pass dilemma. Game Pass is an interesting case because it's solely based on game streaming. So how could we strip the games from it so Apple is happy? Well, I read in an article from Touch Arcade that an agreement could be reached at a later time that would allow Apple users access to Game Pass via their web browser. The only problem with this is that an app running natively on the system is always going to run games better and smoother than running a game over a browser. Apple's excuse for not letting the app into the App Store is because they wouldn't be able to individually review the games for quality purposes. As we know, that's a bunch of bullcrap and is absolutely laughable, since they've let in a ton of not only questionable games, but TV show and movie streaming apps like Netflix that release programming at will, without the need to be reviewed by Apple. We believe the real reason behind this is because Apple usually gets a 30% cut on every game released on their App Store. They know the popularity of xCloud would be huge and they want their cut. So if Apple and Microsoft don't come to some agreement on Apple getting a piece of the pie, then it's not to Apple's best interest to have the app on their storefront. So what are ways we can fix this problem? Well, first option is they could do what Game Club is doing and display every game separately on the App Store. Once downloaded, it'll launch the game and tell you about the subscription. Apple consistently approves games with in-app purchases, so just include the game with a subscription as an in-app purchase. If you already have a subscription, log in directly from the game to access it. Another option, though not nearly as good as the first one, is to create a great website that lists all the games and just run them from there. Apple gives you the option to create an icon from Safari that lives directly on your home screen, just like an app. Once tapped, it takes you directly to that site. Apple likes control because control leads to more money in their pocket. Okay, fine. Their business, their rules. But if they're not going to allow Game Pass, then they have to step their game way up when it comes to having access to AAA titles on the go, or they're going to start losing people to Android in droves. We fully believe Apple is planning something great with Apple Arcade, and soon it'll not only be accessible to things like great indie titles, but also great AAA titles on the go. Whether that's by Apple creating their own first-party games or Apple buying out well-known AAA developers. Regardless, this needs to happen, and fast. With all that said, we do have options and the ability to speak with our dollars. Alright guys, that's all for this video. Let us know what you think of our thoughts in the comments below, and let us know what you think about xCloud not coming to iOS. Feel free to vent out your disappointments. We love talking to you guys. You can also talk to us even more in our Discord server. Info will be in the video description. Remember to like and subscribe for more videos like this. Lastly, check out our Twitter account for gameplay of the latest releases. But most importantly, remember to always stay one up.